Hey, it's Big Game James McCarty here with the Gate City Bank Frisco fan cam with one of the voices of FCS Nation, a guy who actually played in the Valley, Stone Labanowitz. Stone, you know probably North Dakota State as well as anybody who's outside of that program. What do you think is going to transpire in this Monday night matchup between the Cats and the Bison?
It's two really stubborn groups. So as far as what I think will transpire are two really good teams that are stubborn, trying to do what they do best, and that's run the football. Obviously, where we sit right now, I'm wearing a beanie, you're wearing a beanie. I have 3 or 4 layers on myself. I'm from the South. It's cold. When this thing kicks, that temperature's going to be around 30, 32 degrees, and I don't necessarily think either of these teams care. Actually, I can say for a fact they don't give a damn whatsoever, but I do think it will affect some play. And I think the explosive plays will come from the ground. It's a lot harder to tackle when it's cold. So I think two teams that are going to want to come in and do what they do best, and that's just pound the rock. A lot of Tremar Brown, a lot of Adam Jones, a lot of Cam Miller, a lot of Tommy Mellott, a lot of Scott Trey Humphrey, and that's saying nothing wise. But as far as what's going to transpire, it's those guys with the football in their hand for all 4 quarters. It's my opinion.
You playing the quarterback position. These are 2 quarterbacks. Tommy Mellott, who was just named, of course, the Heisman of the FCS, with the Walter Payton Award, and then Cam Miller being the runner-up. I remember being in Fargo 4 years ago, and it seemed like people wanted to run him out of town, and now Cam is one of the best in the country. What problems do those 2 quarterbacks present for the others, and what do they need to do well for their team to be successful tonight?
As far as what problems they present to each other, we don't have enough time to sit here and talk. It's 2 guys that cause a lot of problems, and they have all season long. One thing I will say about Cam Miller, though, I am proud's not the word, because he doesn't care if Stone Labanowitz and FCS Nation Radio is proud of him. He doesn't, but he's become more animated, and he's talked a lot more, and I think that's been a big step in his journey, and he addressed it. You hinted at it. He said, there was a lot of people who wanted me out the door, and were not wanting me to be a starter for this North Dakota State team, and he says that publicly, and I think dropping a quote like that during a week like this and lead up to the one for the ultimate prize tells me a lot. Tells me that he's going to be smiling out there in between those white lines, regardless of what the score is. He's going to have a lot of fun. He's going to let it all out there. And I think if you're Cam Miller, you want this game to be close, because what we've seen in the 4th quarter from this Bison team, but especially Cam Miller, he's been the most clutch. He hits at the highest percentage late in games. And then on the other side, Tommy Mellott. I mean, you're going to hear touchdown Tommy all over the place. There are going to be more number 4 jerseys in here than I think any other number. Navy blue. And Tommy's somebody who, if you're looking at his touchdown total and we were to set one, it's 2.5, it's 3.5. I mean, this guy leads them up and down the field. And that triple option threat that him, Adam Jones, and Scott Trey Humphrey provide is daunting. And I think both quarterbacks are going to go at it. They're both, obviously, this is their last crack, their last hoorah. So I think they're going to leave it all out there. I think as FCS fans, the one thing we should be very happy about is you have 2 of the best quarterbacks in the entire subdivision going at it for the ultimate prize in Frisco, Texas. You can't beat it.
No, not at all. Trying to piggyback off that a little bit. The Bison wanting to do some play action. They want to get themselves ahead of the chains early. That's what Marty Brown's going to present. That's what Cam Miller is going to present. Flip the other way, Tommy Mellott, like you said, they might not want to say it out loud, but triple option S. He's going to throw the ball a bit, but they got a couple of 1,000-yard rushers and guys that want to run the football. So my question to you is on top of that, knowing how both of these quarterbacks run, how both these programs run, they want to get outside the tackle box to be able to use both their feet and their arm. How important are the tackles offensively and the ends defensively going to be in the outcome of this game?
Yeah, the answer is 2-pronged, because of course, designed runs, the outside zones, any of the stretches, you're going to see some tosses with these guys, quarterback sweeps, everything outside the tackle, that's by design. But I also think where it's prevalent is when plays break down. Again, there's no 2 quarterbacks better when the play breaks down than Cam Miller and Tommy Mellott. So you're absolutely right. You're going to see a lot of the pressure come from the field, I think, when they're sending extra guys to prevent Cam or Tommy from getting to a space where there's a lot of green grass. Because when these guys have green grass, they're really good. And actually, they're not really good. There's just nobody better. So, yeah, I think by design, defensively and offensively, that's going to be the key point. I think it's a really awesome question. I think pay attention to that if you're a fan right now. Whoever gets outside the tackle box more and more freely wins this football game. And I think another aspect here, speaking to getting outside the tackle box, explosive plays, all of these things, I will be paying attention this first half on the openers, the 15 scripted plays that each team has. You've had over a month to prepare for them. And I think for North Dakota State's sake, you know you're the underdog in this game. You're going to have more aggressive more shot plays in your openers, and I think Montana State knows that they don't have to. They know exactly what they're going to do. They'll basically tell you where they're going to line up and run. So I think for North Dakota State, the first 15 opening plays, the first 2 drives, tells us everything about their mood and what they're trying to do here tonight.
These two programs very overall stout defensively. The Bison, you don't hear the names that you have in the past. A lot of it's because of injuries, and guys have had to step up, and they've done so. I mean, they're in the championship game now. For Montana State, a lot of returning type guys that are getting their opportunity to shine. They were the freshmen in 2021 when they were here against the Bison. Now they're the seniors this year. And I asked that in regards to, we saw South Dakota, one of the best defenses in the country, the runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year nationally from South Dakota, and Tommy Mellott still put up 31, and that Bobcat offense. How, if at all, I'm not even going to say stop that offense.
Sure.
How do you neutralize them enough to hold them under 30?
You keep them off the field. And I can guarantee you, I'd put my life on it. It's something that Polisek has been preaching for days, weeks, and hours. You keep them off the field. Extend drives. If you're Cam Miller, you're going to bed last night thinking about converting third downs. That's all I would do as a quarterback, knowing that the other team across from us is favored and can run the ball and keep us off the field. So there's no way to neutralize them. They're going to score points, but not if they're not on the field. So I think if you're Cam Miller in this North Dakota State offense, just extend drives, convert on third downs. We're looking for 11, 12-play drives that not only wear that Montana State defensive front out, but just kind of break the spirit of Tommy and them on the offensive side, make them question themselves, right? Because they're just uber confident, they're clicking on all cylinders. So I think that's one way to go about it. But in all seriousness, we can go through whatever defense statistics we want to. Both these teams are holding teams under 20 points. I think that number 17. I think for Montana State, the last 10 weeks, it's been like 10 points. And this total, James, sits at 57.5, and it's climbing, 58.5. It's perplexing to me. It's freezing cold. Neither of these teams want to throw the ball. I think if you ask Cam and you ask Tommy, if they cared, if they finished this game 3 for 7 with 87 yards and got out of here with the win, they'd be happy. So as far as how you neutralize it, I don't think teams are thinking about it all that much. But like I said, if you're North Dakota State, just keep them the hell off the field because they're dangerous.
One more gridiron-related question I have for you, because as we know, there was a bowl game played on this field a couple of weeks ago in the FBS level. We're not going to be worrying about rain, things of those sorts, but it's natural grass here tonight versus turf, what the Bison are used to playing on. You've played in all different surfaces. What is the importance of finding the right footwear to keep your footing underneath you so you can make those cuts and breaks in this evening's matchup?
It's a nifty question. I think you're asking it in regard or with two teams that are involved that could give a damn. I think the way Polisek preaches things to his teams and what he's tried to implement as he's been here, and it's not been that long. I know he has been in the past, but toughness, like grit, like those are the things that these guys don't care about. And same with Vegan, and same with guys like Tommy. If Tommy rolled his ankle or shattered his ankle here in the first quarter, I would put money on it that he's not coming out. And I don't think they're trying to put too much thought into the footwear and whatnot. And I will say this, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but there's a few skill players out here who it will matter for. And if that's Bryce Lance and that's a guy like Taco Dowell, fine. They can worry about their footwear. Pulling guards, some of the tackles that they're going to bring over, sure, they can care a little bit. Guys trying to get to the next level. Safeties running the alley, linebackers could care less. They could be out here barefoot. I think just by both of the ways that these teams are taught how to play and just the toughness that, I mean, they embody in the programs themselves, I think if you ask them a footwear question, they would laugh at you. But for me, if I was out there, yeah, I need the exact same cleats. I need to know verbatim what they do. I need to see the list, and I need to try them out a week or a month in advance. But they're not like me. They're not soft.
Well, that's what I was asking because you had done it before. Because we asked Polisek that question a week or two ago, and he basically said he didn't give a damn.
Right.
He said, "No, we're not going to worry about that." Yep. He said that they're not going to have heated benches. He does not. He is one of those guys. He does not give a dang about any of those outside sources. It's all about taking care of your business because two teams are going to have 11 guys in the field. They're going to deal with the same issues, regardless, play after play. And that I kind of love that grit from him. In closing with you, Stone. FCS Nation, your weekly 1-hour show you guys have, nationally syndicated. I know you guys are going to have a recap next weekend after this national championship. What are we in store for in that, giving you a plug there?
Yeah, I think pretty much a normal recap, but we're going to weave in a lot of player interviews pre- and post-game from here just to give everybody context of what this game was about, what it meant to both programs. You're talking about a Montana State team that hasn't won this thing since 1994. I wasn't born, you weren't born. There are plenty of people listening and watching this right now who weren't born. So So I think that's what's at stake. We're going to give that some time as well. And Polasek, obviously, his first crack at it with his hands on the reins. So a lot is going to go into that, and he addressed that in some pressers, and we hope to poke that out of him post-game, win or lose. So I think a lot from Vegan, a lot from Polasek. And I hate to bore people who aren't looking for the skill players and just the fancy quarterback talk, but you're talking about 2 quarterbacks who have been in the FCS for what feels like 10 freaking years.
Yep.
COVID. Tommy gets injured early. Cam, is he going to start? Is he not? Obviously, early when he was at North Dakota State, he wasn't playing all these snaps. They both formed themselves into household names as far as the subdivision goes. So going to give that a lot of time because I think they deserve it first and foremost. And the coaching carousel. When this thing ends and this final horn blows, it's going to get hectic, and it already has started in the FCS with coaches hiring and getting fired and all of those things. So I look for that to kind of be a topic for us as well.
Awesome. Stone, thanks for coming to your time. I always appreciate it, man, and looking forward to FCS Nation again next weekend.
Let's do it.
Big game James Licardi alongside Stone Labanowitz of FCS Nation. This was a Gate City Bank Frisco fan cam.